to take on the Dayton Flyers. Hello, I'm Michael Purvis, alongside me, my partner, Evan Degger, and a little bit of close quarters here to start off the game. But, Evan, this game has definitely a lot of implications, and this is going to has the potential of being a fun game, as both of these teams have gotten off to quite a decent start off to the Atlantic 10 play, both of them being high ranking, at least in the top of the upper half of the Atlantic 10 standings.
Well, you can see that Dayton undefeated in A10 play right now, undefeated in 3 of their last 3 games. So, I mean, as good a start as you can wish for, 2 ties, but early in the season that may put them down in the rankings a little bit, but end of season those ties, they aren't losses, so that's going to count for points for them still.
That is correct, and absolutely correct. The Dayton Flyers are right now, as you mentioned, like I said, on a 3-game unbeaten streak right now. They won 2 Sundays ago, October the 2nd, I believe. They beat Canisius right here at Beaujon Field 5-0, that went on the road to start Atlantic 10 play and had 2 ties against Rhode Island and Massachusetts. But also another storyline coming in here is the Temple Owls. As the Temple Owls are, we'll talk next about really the youth of these teams and all that, but the youth of this team has kind of hurt Temple to start off, as they're looking for their first back-to-back victories this year, as they beat St. Joseph's 3-0 just a couple days ago.
Well, you can look at that, and typically you got a young teams coming out, they're going to be a little cautious playing against a more experienced team, but we got 2 really young teams playing here, so I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction that we're going to see a lot of creativity and players trying to stand out today because they got nothing to lose.
That is absolutely correct. Both of these teams only have 3 seniors apiece, so you're going to be seeing a lot of youth out there, as the Dayton Flyers actually have 17 freshmen currently on the roster, as they graduated 11 last year. So a very, very inexperienced team, but as you mentioned, can definitely lead for a lot of fun soccer. But another thing that really, one of the things that I believe has really stood out to the beginning of this season has been the performance of Tyler Picard. In the 11 games that he has played in, he has had 5 shutouts, yielding 3 of the 4 victories for the Flyer. And when Tyler Picard is on, I'll tell you right now, this Dayton Flyers team is really good.
Well, the defense already is about as good as you get in the conference. And we got a goalkeeper who's hot and he's keeping everything out of the net. It doesn't get much better than that. That just adds up for victories for you right there.
That's right, and he has a save percentage right now of .76, where a goal only averaging, giving up a .76 goals a game right now. So he is absolutely having a fantastic season, one of the highest goals against, where he's, and really once you have a goalie who is underneath that 1 goal a game, really that is the mark for a good keeper. And definitely a really nice thing to have as we're continuing here with the starting lineups, as we're almost through with that right now. And we're going to go ahead and we will take a short break here while the rest of the starting lineups are announced. And we will also pause for the national anthem. We'll come back with the starting lineups here on the Dayton Flyers Media Network. And to welcome you all back here live once again to Beaujon Field on the campus of the University of Dayton. And now, as the teams now get their final setup, we're going to introduce the starting lineup, starting with the visiting Temple Owls under the head coach of David McWilliams. Between the pipes is going to be the senior keeper, Brett Mullen. At defense is going to be number 3, Rodrigo Zuleta. Also at defense will be number 4, the sophomore Billy Kapik. And the freshman number 15, Nolan Hemmer. In the midfield, we are going to have the junior number 6, Tyler Whitmer, the senior number 8, Jared Harris, and the sophomore number 10, Cody Calafiore, which is a fantastic name, must I say. Also, we're going to have Ryan Bradbury will be on the midfield, and Max Kinderwalder. On the front lines will be Vaughn Spurrier, the freshman, number 22, and Matt McWilliams. That right there will be the starting lineup for the Temple Owls. So they will be wearing their whites, as the Flyers will be coming in wearing their red, tonight being the red out game. And now this will be the starting lineup here for the Dayton Flyers under Dennis Currier in his 6th season here at UD. Between the keepers going to be the redshirt junior keeper, as we mentioned before, Tyler Picard. Let's see here. In defense will be number 6, the freshman Jonathan Nelson. Also at defense, the senior number 11, Tommy Watkins, and as well as Jack Pearson, the junior number 28. In addition, here we have the freshman midfielder we mentioned before, Marlon Duran. We'll be talking a lot about him as we go throughout tonight. The sophomore Ryan Bauer will also be joining him in the midfield. Andreas Acevedo, the freshman at midfield. Oscar Kretzinger, the senior out of Germany, will also be in the midfield. And finally, rounding out the forwards here will be Jordan Beckett, the freshman. And if I can find it, Evan McCreary, the sophomore, will also be on the front lines. And that is the Dayton Flyers lineup. And Evan, we're ready to go here as the kickoff has just happened. And I guess as we kind of watch the initial start here, who are the players I guess you would want to keep your eye on here for this game?
Well, your first lookout has to go to Marlon Duran in the midfield. He's really what makes him work. But I think, interestingly, tonight, with two young teams we think can go explosive, I'm going for the keepers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and right, the keepers, both of these teams, with their records, Dayton coming in at 4-4-3, and Temple with 3-5-2. Both of these teams, surprisingly for their records, have had they absolutely light up the goalkeepers for the most part. They have some of the highest shots on goal of almost all the other teams in the league, and really that does come a lot down to their youth, doesn't it?
Well, that just shows you that they're getting the shots off, and they're getting the shots off. The goals are going to start coming too. And with a team as young as this, all that means they're going to be good in the future.
We had the first foul of the game already on this side. Will be Jack Pearson, the junior, will be taking the kick. And one of the things I was going to mention before, we talked about Marlon Duran, and normally Marlon Duran takes these kicks, as that's going to be an easy foul there on the far side, and it's going to be a free kick going to the Temple Owls. Having a hard time getting the number off that one. That was Jordan Beckett on the foul in the box.
Something that interests me with Kreisiger and Duran in the midfield, at least from the look of it, looks like they're going to go a little more defensive with the midfield, maybe rely on the wings to create on the outside a little bit more. At least that would be my estimation.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Beckett already picked up his second foul, as this will be a goal kick as the Temple Owls picked up the tempo very quickly, but to no avail as Tyler Picard will boot this one off. But Evan, I guess as we kind of go here, we were talking about this before the pregame, is really the kind of the international flavor for the Dayton Flyers. I mean, you talk about Carlson, for example, Kretzinger. I'm forgetting a couple, Kebenezi. Some of those guys they're really the international flavor. I guess kind of want to get your take on. There's definitely more international players on the men's team and the women's team, but why is that such a thing that we see here in American collegiate soccer?
Well, you see that over in Europe and Africa, Asia, you see that they have a lot of the academy systems going there, and I think these guys are just looking for a chance to expand their skills by going through something a little bit similar whilst getting an education at the same time and bringing us a little bit of their international flair to the game.
Definitely that international flair I believe you're going to see here. And, of course, when you type it to get the international flair, you put a little bit of fun with, or put a little bit of inexperience and a couple freshmen out there. It also makes things a lot of fun. And this right here is going to be Tommy Watkins over here on the near side right in front of us. She's able to try to find a teammate as there's been a lot of one-on-ones to the ball and definitely a lot of hand checks. It's very, very, very quickly.
Referee looks like he's going to let him play this game, which is good to see. Nothing worse than having a referee who's going to stop play every 3 seconds. Just got to let them play. And
you can definitely expect and of course this comes back to the youth that we talk about, that a lot of this youth you're going to expect a lot of physical play. As over there right in front of the camera, there's going to be Tyler Whitmer. That's going to go out, and the Flyers are going to get Flyers will get a throw in right in front of their bench. Tommy Watkins will take that throw in. 4 minutes in the play right now. Most of the play has been right here at midfield as there's going to be Duran, as Duran's going to go against Calafiore. Passes it back to Jack Pearson. Pearson's going to pass it up. He's going to have anybody there. It's going to go and throw in for Temple. So really, we kind of mentioned it before, Evan. We talked about this could be a little sloppy start, and less than 4 minutes into the game, we've kind of already seen where it's almost as if it was this kickball, and a lot of things been taking place right around the midfield line.
Something else I'm seeing, which is surprising me a little bit from two inexperienced team, we get a fairly physical game going here. You saw the foul just right there. These guys are going at it. Normally, I'd think you'd see that from a older, larger group of guys, but apparently establishing the physical presence is what they're going for first.
Yeah, if that foul was on Rodrigo Zuleta as he fouled Jordan Beck, and Beck on the end of 3 fouls already, 2 of them on his own, and this is going to be Marlon Duran taking it over here. And I'll tell you right now, folks, he is one heck of a set-piece player. That one found a lot of grass, didn't find a head, as it looks as if he didn't have his teammates weren't able to help him a whole lot. This one's still going to be kept in play, headed towards the center. A lot of head ball here. There's going to be a shot taken. That one's going to be taken off. Over here is going to be number 15, McCreary. McCreary with a shot and a very nice save there, made by Brett Mullen.
And there you go. He's getting his work in early. Looks like he came to play. That was a tough shot to stop right there.
As sloppy as that looked, a very rough shot there by McCreary. That one went really off the side of his foot and ended up almost being perfect. The Flyers almost got a goal out of this. So after the punt, now this is going to be Tommy Watkins back on the defense. He's going to be looking up there. He's looking for McCreary again. McCreary coming out as the keeper there, and that's going to be a foul against McCreary as he fouled Brett Mullen there, and Mullen got hit in the head. I think he got a knee to the noggin is what it looks like to me. And they're going to stop play, and they're going to check to make sure he's okay. And I believe that's going to be called a dangerous play, but Picard is going to – I'm sorry, not Picard, but McCreary is going to get a yellow card for that. And, Evan, I'd like to get your thought on that. A yellow card this early?
It looked to me that the goalie was already out of the box there. And typically that makes him a field player, and that was an even challenge if the goalie's coming forward with his head like that. I guess they ruled that his foot was just a little bit too high there. I'm not so sure about that one.
Well,
but
I've seen examples of this right here. And normally when something like this happens, to get a yellow card like that, you're going to have to lead with your spikes. I'll tell you right now, he's going after his head, and there's absolutely no way that Evan McCreary's spikes got up to the head
if anything,
of the keeper.
To me, from experience as a player, if you get a ball like that with a goalie that far out, either you're going for a toe poke, you're just trying to tap it just to get up around before he gets his arms up. I'm surprised he didn't try and lead with the head there, though I can see why he didn't. Running into the goalkeeper's not much fun. But I'm not so sure that was a yellow card offense.
And even I would even look at it this way. He was actually even being defended quite closely. I couldn't tell the exact one. I believe it was Zuleta was the one who was on him, and that makes it even more difficult. That when you have one guy on you, you have a defender on you, as McCreary did, and the keeper's coming out at you. I don't exactly know how that is yellow card worthy, because I think that's just trying to make a good play on the ball. I mean, it's equal ground. All players have equal space to the ball, wouldn't you? I mean, at least that's my interpretation of the rule, I guess.
Oh, I mean, and like I said before, I thought he was out of the box, and as soon as he's out of the box, he's fair game. He's putting himself in that position, but guess what? It's fortunate it's not up to us to call the game.
That's right. That's right. We are not in the stripes tonight. We are up here just calling the game, and all we have is our voice. But as it goes down, it's going to be McCreary is going to get a yellow card. That'll be the first yellow card issued to him this season, if I believe. I will check that stat. But we're here with 39 minutes, 46 seconds. Play has been stopped because of Evan McCreary going into the keeper, Brett Mullen. And Brett Mullen is still down, and he looks like he's in a lot of pain. As you look over there, he has not really moved a whole lot since the referee stopped play. And I'll tell you right now, I don't exactly know what that injury may be, what exactly is hurt. I'm assuming it's his head because he looked as if that would seem to be the problem. But I'll tell you right now, he's basically stayed in the same limp, really the same position for the last few minutes.
Well, he hasn't. It shows you it's not a neck injury or anything because they have him up in the sideways position. It's got to be. They're probably looking for some sort of trauma to the forehead. The backup is warming up currently.
That's right, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I was just about to pull it up. Brett Mullen has started all 10 previous games for the Temple Owls. The keeper who will be warming up is going to be Fran Nelms. He's played in one game. He's only had 17 minutes roughly, and he's made one save. And that's about all. He's only had faced one shot on goal as well. So when it comes to this, Brett Mullen, he's played almost nearly every minute, with the exception of 17 minutes, for the Temple Owls. Now you're going to put in a little bit of inexperience, at least on this season, as Nelms is a sophomore. 6 foot out of Philadelphia. He went to Archbishop Ryan High School, which is right in downtown Philadelphia. And it looks as if he's up on his, looks Brett Mullen now is going to be up on his, he's up on his bottom right now. I think he's going to get to his feet. And as you kind of see, probably, I would venture to say he probably got a spike to the head by the way they're doing that. It looks as if
the way he's coming off, I'd venture to say he's, at the very least, he's done for this half, if not for the game.
I would think so. That is.
He's holding a pad to his forehead, so.
Of course, if that requires any type of stitching or anything like that, you can definitely call him out for this game, I would believe. But you know what? We've seen crazier things in soccer.
He could, if they could wrap the head once he gets the stitches, it's possible he could finish this game out.
That's very true.
But I think it's unlikely. It looks like he's drawn a lot of blood. I can see it on
absolutely.
The medical technician's gloves.
Now that he's right in front of us, you see that he is holding a paper towel, and unless it is a Dayton Flyers towel that is majorly red, that is full of blood, and I can even see his hands. I can even see the gloves of Mullen, and they're covered in blood as well. So it looks as if he did get a spike to the head, and wow, that definitely has to hurt. And I guess you can, I don't know if that necessarily still justifies the yellow card, but definitely understands a little bit more of what it was because he did get a spike to the head, and you got to believe that hurt as we are back underway here with the free kick by Fran Nelms as he started back play, and we are here going once again. And then they're taking, they're going to go ahead and take Brett Mullins directly into the locker room located to the right of your computer screen. Evan, I think we both venture to say he is probably out for this game. Well, anyways, we are back here ready to play here. It's going to be Jack Pearson on the far side. He's going to clear it to Duran. Duran passed it back. This is going to be right in front of us here. This is going to be for Temple. It's going to be number 13, which is Bradbury. Bradbury passed it over there to Kapik. Kapik now looking, there's going to be a nice shot attempt there by number 6. That's Whitmer. As Whitmer got that pass there from Kapik, was not able to get a decent shot there, and it's going to go as a goal kick as Picard just let it hit the side of the goal.
Any energy the Flyers came out with from the first couple of minutes or so is certainly gone now after the long stoppage of play. It's good to see Temple up and moving after that. So give them a little bit of motivation to play. We'll just see how the rest of this one plays out.
And I'd venture to say, even, I mean, Evan, I know that I can probably venture in the times you've played, there's been extended injuries. I mean, how does that play? How does that psyche go for the team? I mean, does that really play that big of an effect?
Well, from my experience, what it really depends on is the conversation that goes on in the respective huddles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Temple felt that that was a legitimate malicious foul, and they're coming out with some energy, and Evan McCurry should probably watch himself. He might be grabbing his stutter shoulder to the back. But, you know, it just all depends on that sort of thing. They certainly look like they're motivated to come out and play now.
Marlon Duran, he just fouled Max Kinderwalter, and it's going to yield a free kick for the Temple Owls, as this looks it is going to be Zuleta is going to take this from about 20 yards in from midfield. So it's going to be fed right into the box, and nobody home as that header is not able to go anywhere. This is going to be 13, I'm sorry. That was Bradbury, as he was looking for one of his offensive guys over there. That was Mac Williams, and Mac Williams will be over there in the corner as Temple will get the first corner kick of this match.
We're going to see what good they are in the air. They don't look like a physically dominating side height-wise, but
that was a very, very low kick there, but a little bit of creativity there by Bradbury. He was able to try to get a foot and try to get it over. Now this is an instance where Temple needs to spread out a little bit. That was Nolan Hemmer. He almost dribbled it off his own player there as Zuleta was not able to get out of the way. This will be a throw-in for Temple. Billy Kapik will be taking this throw-in. A little bit of run off the hill. Gets a really nice throw into the box. Mostly Dayton Flyers over there, and it's going to be cleared out. This is Duran right here. Duran pushing the ball up. Looks as if he just kind of wanted to clear it out for a little bit, fielded by Temple. It's going to be over here to the near side once again to Kapik. Kapik looking down. He's going to try to feed his guy on the offense down there. That is going to be number 6, which is Whitmer, and Whitmer tries to center it, but that's going to go out of bounds. Looks as if it's going to be a corner, as that one went off of Dayton's number 28, Jack Pearson.
Corner kick taken by number 10, Cody Calafiore.
And Calafiore will now take the corner kick for Temple. Calafiore, the sophomore out of Howell, New Jersey. One will hit off a couple players and end up finding grass. That's going to be cleared out to the far side for a throw-in now for Temple. And Evan, very quickly almost, after this injury timeout, Temple has really gone on the offensive, and Dayton really has had to play almost strict defense the whole time.
They've certainly got the energy going right now. Looked like Watkins fortunate not to be called for a handball there. And they're possessing while Dayton, you know, every time they've gotten all, they've maybe dallied a little too long on the ball and been forced just for the quick release to get it upfield. Now it looks like they're slowing it down, getting a little bit of possession here.
One of the things I saw interesting is this right here. Dayton has gone on the offensive, and that looks to me like a foul. I don't know if you can grab inside the collar there, but it looks as if it's going to go to turnovers. Duran now gets the ball. That'll be broken up. This is going to be Watkins. Watkins had a really nice looking pass there, but was not able to clear the head of Zuleta on the far side. They're just crossing midfield. There is going to be number 17, Kinderwalter. Kinderwalter over to Calafiore. This right here, right in front of us, will be Kapik. Kapik looking to find something downfield. He's going to go right next to Calafiore. And looks for calling the two names again. This one's going to be fed in by Hemmer. Not knocked out by the Flyers, excuse me. Really see a lot of ball possession by the Owls. They're doing a great job here. There's going to be, it looks like a nice shot, but that was deflected there by Jack Pearson.
A very physical game so far. It's good to see two teams going at it, but Flyers need to settle down and get a little possession, hold the ball a little more. They're getting rid of it just a little too quickly, and they're not finding the feet that they should.
And that's right. It was very, very well demonstrated right there as that last throw-in as Acevedo was not able to get the ball. It was a really high one, and he was not able to control it before it went out of bounds. And that should be a foul, as I'm very surprised by that call to play on. As Billy Kapik went against McCreary, and those guys are kind of taking a little bit of words right now. You're right, Evan. This game has definitely picked up the intensity. I'll tell you right now, ever since that foul, this game has been very intense right afterwards.
Well, it's interesting, Mike. We're going to see how long. I said he's letting them play a little bit, but apparently the players have figured that out too. That one went a little too far, in my opinion. We're going to have to see on that. I'm curious to see what exactly these players are going to get away with this game.
So far, it's been a lot. We've already seen a yellow card as Evan McCreary got a yellow card for his challenge against former keeper Brett Mullen, who had to go out with a head injury. It looks as if there's a towel full of blood. As this is going to be over here, this will be Watkins. Watkins going to try to feed it in. It's going to be right in the middle. Can anybody get a head on it? No, they will not, and that is going to be a foul called on the Flyers, as I believe that, once again, a little bit more pulling and tugging down by the goal line is going to result in a foul called on the Flyers, and the Temple Owls are going to get a free kick out of it.
That was a good opportunity. It's good to see them getting forward again, and they threaten the goal, which is more important to show that they still got the offense going this game.
And Evan, we did a game against we did one of the girls' games earlier this year, and we were commenting on. We commented a lot about Colleen Williams and how she almost always plays when she's the forward. She's almost always at the center line, even when the team is on defense. And that for both corner kicks, all 10 Flyers, actually all 11, including the keeper, were back. And they didn't have anybody up on offense. And, I mean, I don't know if that's because they were afraid that they were going to be in the ball, that the ball was going to get by them. I'm not quite sure. But normally you want to put one forward up so that, in case a ball gets cleared out, somebody's there.
Well, that just shows a little bit of defensive methodology there. Apparently they're, well.
It looks as if there's going to be.
Looks like he's going to corral him in a little bit on that one.
That's right. And he's, look as if Jordan Becker got a little word from the official there as he's been jawing a little bit with Bradbury and Hemmer. Both of them have kind of been exchanging words, not to mention that Kapik also has been getting involved. He has had a couple hard challenges, but now over here on the far side, not able to save it. Actually, or was he? I couldn't tell. He was not able to save it over there on the far side, as I believe that was Vaughn Spurrier. Yes, it is. He's over there on the far side. This right here is going to be Whitmer looking to go far side over here. The header to McWilliams, but that one will be going wide, and it will be a goal kick for the Flyers, their third one of the night. 31-25 is on the Beaujon Field clock. 0-0 our score here between the Temple Owls and Xavier Musketeers. Or Xavier Musketeers, excuse me. Dayton Flyers. I don't know why I said Xavier. I don't know what I was thinking about.
You're not looking too far ahead, are you, Mike?
I'm not. You can tell I'm thinking a little bit about it as I thinking about our girls volleyball team as they are taking on the Xavier Musketeers down in the Cintas Center. That's where I was going next. We'll get an update for you on that as soon as it becomes available. The girls soccer team already won their game today. I don't know exactly who they play. I know they won 3-0 though. I think Colleen Williams had a goal and an assist. Which, if that's correct, she pushes her point total up to close to 33 now, I believe. Wow. As the wind is starting to pick up here, Beaujon Field, as you can hear from coming from behind us, it's going to be across the field as the fourth goal kick for the Flyers will now happen.
33 points in a season, that's impressive.
And to kind of compare that with what we're watching here with the guys right now is that the leading whoever has the leading points, I believe, is Tommy Watkins. He has only 7 on the season. So to kind of put into perspective the season that Colleen Williams is having for the girls team with at least 30 points, I know that for a fact. That has been absolutely fantastic. This one is going to go really nice long kick. It's going to be fielded by Billy Kapic, and he's going to send it cross field, but this one's going to be fielded over there by the Flyers, number 21, Michael Diley. Save before it goes out of bounds by Kinderwalter. In the midfield will be Calafiore. Calafiore now once again with the ball. He's going to go down the field, and he's going to try to find a seam, but not able to get there. Nice job there on defense by Jack Pearson once again. We've called his name quite a few times. He's done a great job on defense tonight, Evan.
Interesting enough, in all the games we've seen this year, this is definitely the most stretched I've seen the Flyers defense.
And there's a interesting one right there. Tyler Picard had to go over his own player there. He had to jump over Jonathan Nelson just to get the ball. Little miscommunication.
Slight miscommunication there. Nothing bad came out of it, though.
It's going to be Duran with a fantastic ball down the field to Beckett. Beckett trying to get something on it, and that's going to go as a goal kick as he touched the last two. Nice job there on defense there by the Temple Owls, as there were 2 of them who shut down Jordan Beckett quite easily. But a good ball there fed in by Marlon Duran, and we talk about him. He's definitely not one of the tallest players on the field. Obviously, I believe he's 5'6" is what he's listed at. Actually, 5'3", excuse me. I almost gave him 3 inches, which is quite a little bit. And I'll tell you right now, he fights the ball very hard, and when it comes to set pieces, I'll tell you right now, he's definitely one of the best in the Atlantic 10.
Well, I like the ball forward, but I'd like to see a little bit more creativity. All of their chances have come off of straight balls, just hefted over the team. And you see it's too much. I really am impressed with the way Temple's moved the ball. And definitely some very crafty players on there, but I'd like to see them. I'd like to see the Flyers. I know they're just as good a team. I'd like to see them do some of the same things.
That is very close to yet another. Once another foul is the newly subbed in Flyer, number 13, Alex Winrich, the freshman out of Louisville. He took a little bit of a hit as he went down. Once again, you're seeing that Billy Kapic for the Owls has been very physical, knocking down 2 Flyers when he has the ball, and that's something you don't normally see every day, as he's been leaning in with the shoulder. Here's Tommy Watson.
Physicality is apparently his game, and that's something they teach you at a higher level of soccer. Until they blow the whistle, there's no reason for you to stop chugging. And he's going to take advantage of that.
Jonathan Nelson. Nelson decides to pass back to Picard, and Flyers are going to reset on offense. 27:30 remains on the Beaujon Field game clock. As coming out to field it, and as that was very dangerous, as Winrich almost was going on a run there, but Fran Nelms, the new keeper, was able to get that ball really without much of a contest. But nothing is our score here from Beaujon Field. Once again, we thank you for tuning in wherever you are right now, whether on Flyer TV or DaytonFlyers.com, wherever you're catching us. Really appreciate it. I am Michael Purvis. Alongside me is Evan Degger, bringing you tonight's action here from Beaujon Field. The Temple Owls and the Dayton Flyers. Temple wearing white, Dayton Flyers wearing red tonight. The red out game was deemed by the UD Red Scare student section. And as we have a little bit of an update here, women's soccer, they had a 3-0 win over also the Temple Owls in Philadelphia. They had an earlier game. The goals were from Allie Ginner, Juliana Libertine, and Colleen Williams. This is it says Willie's here, but Colleen Williams' goal was her 13th of the season, which is 4th in the nation and top in the Atlantic 10. So Colleen Williams is just once again absolutely just dominating defenses, as she's just doing such a great job. As we mentioned, her 13th goal of the season. I know she has over 30 points now, and that is just absolutely phenomenal season. Actually, and as I see here, the 33 points. She did have 33 points because of the assist, so we were right. We were right without even getting the stat. We both were right here, which is tops in the Atlantic 10. So what a great job to the girls soccer team, and especially Colleen Williams, the sophomore, who has just been absolutely dominating the Atlantic 10 this year, and hopefully in many more years to come over her next 2 more seasons here at the University of Dayton.
It's going to be an exciting time when you return in the sort of players that they are, and she's only going to grow as a player with skill, strength, speed, smarts. It's only going to get better. So they certainly have a bright future in front of them, as does the men's team.
Absolutely, the men's team has so many freshmen, and really we talked about it before. Duran really is one of the head, as was captain of the U.S. national team U18 team, which is a very good team, as well as Andreas Acevedo. Both of them went to Bradenton Prep. And Evan, we talked about before, as this will go as a goal kick, as the corner taken by Matt McWilliams wasn't even close, and now Picard will put the ball back in play very quickly as he swings the field. But we talked a little bit about Bradenton Prep before, and especially with the as that shot's going to go really high and wide there. That was a very nice looking shot there by the number I can't get. Looks as if it'll be Vaughn Spurrier, who is the freshman out of St. Ignatius High School in Cleveland. But to kind of go back to what I've been trying to say, since we had a little bit of action, I kind of wanted to transition to this, is that we talked about the international players on this team and how they basically come here for, the training of an academy, but also get the education. But Bradenton Prep is really known as the original U.S. Soccer Academy, and to have 2 players who are both freshmen on this team can only bode well for the future of this Dayton's men's team.
Well, it's something special to be able to boast that you have 2 guys in the same incoming class that are both from the academy.
And that does mean a lot, absolutely. I definitely agree, and I think things are only going to look up, especially when you have the captain of the U18 team. That's definitely a great one. And
the sort of leadership and experience that he brings to a team this young is only going to serve them in the future.
The Flyers there got a nice kick there from Jack Pearson as he took it just inside the midfield line, and that one was almost headed in by Beckett, as the Flyers are going to get their first corner kick. And it looks as if it might be taken by Acevedo. Actually, Acevedo will be coming off. Subbing in for him is Nate Dombrowski. And it looks as if overtaking the corner kick will be Tommy Watkins, I believe, as I see. Yes, that is number 11, Tommy Watkins. Or actually, no, that's not Tommy Watkins, excuse me. He's actually one out there to take the corner, as that one just went a little high. And Jordan Beckett was not able to get his head on it, but there's a lot of congestion really right there where Beckett tried to get that header.
Temple certainly has to be worried about that. He nearly gave away a free header to a forward who came running on full steam, and he really just missed getting his head on that. That wasn't going anywhere with the back of the net, the sort of power he was going to generate on that ball. So a little bit of an early miscommunication and a rough turnover.
And now the Flyers have immediately gotten the ball back following that goal kick. Over there, that's going to be number 21, Michael Diley. Passes it over to the sub who just came on a few minutes ago, Winrich. This was now going to be corralled by the Temple offense, and now they're going to go on offense, as this number 6 will be Tyler Whitmer. Tyler Whitmer trying to slow down and get the pace going. Here's Kapik. Kapik playing a very physical game so far. Now he's going to feed it up. He's looking for McWilliams. That's going to be gobbled up by the Dayton defense. And going down there was Jordan Beckett. As you can see, that once again, Beaujean Field is doing what it's known for, is being very slick as Beckett hit the turf.
Well, I've already seen a couple strange bounces of the ball, as we could put it, that have wrong-footed a few Dayton Temple players. So, as the season draws to the end, the wear starting to show a little bit. The field not quite as crisp and green as it was back in early September. So,
and you can also credit as this is a very nice ball fed up there, but Beckett was not able to get his hand on it, and that one will go as a throw-in now for the Owls, as a hit off of number 13, Alex Winrich. But you're right, and also got to credit that the drought in this area, as Evan, both you and I are from the Cincinnati area. We know that Southern Ohio is a severe drought, including the Dayton area, and that can also play a little bit of effect on how this field also plays as well. Even though it is consistently watered, still, we're not getting the natural rainwater. That can always hurt it.
Mm-hmm.
We're here.
Better for the natural water, that's what they always say.
Absolutely. 21 minutes and 30 seconds remains on the Beaujean Field clock. 0-0 our score here once again. The Temple Owls and Dayton Flyers. Looks as if that over there is going to be fed over from Nelson. Now it's going to be fed up and gotten by the Temple Owls. This is number 13, Ryan Bradbury. Bradbury is going to now pass over to Calafiore. Calafiore's pass is going to go well wide of his intended target of Billy Kapik. That's going to allow Dayton to have a substitution as Charles Leonard, the freshman out of Indianapolis, will check in for the Flyers for, looks as if it's going to be Jordan Beckett. No, not Jordan Beckett. He's listed as 6'2", but with the way that Dennis Curry or Coach Dennis has been using his height, it looks like he's a whole lot taller than that, as he's been in a lot of the spots where you need a lot of height. And then on the far side, that was number 10, Ryan Bauer. Ryan Bauer going against Kapik. And Kapik, once again, I'll tell you right now, Evan, I don't want to do it, but this is the third time that Kapik has went into a defender with his elbow and shoulder and has gotten away with it. And I don't know how much more he's going to be able to get away with that before a yellow card or anything. He's already knocked down 2 Flyers and almost knocked down Bauer.
Well, we'll see how long this continues for. I haven't normally as a former defender, it's joyful to see them let us get away with a shove here and there, but I've myself, the first time it happened, I was surprised that he got away with it. And as you clearly pointed out, this is the third time. We'll see if there's a fourth.
I got a feeling that if it hasn't been called 3 times, it's not going to be called all night. Right in front of us here, this is going to be Dombrowski. Dombrowski over to Bauer. Bauer looking for a good ball, passed it back to Dombrowski. Dombrowski with a left foot right on goal, but that one had not near enough power. That was off the left foot and gathered up very easily by Franz Nelms.
The intention always was for the quick one across the goal to see if he could get a trailing forward or midfielder up there. Unfortunately, he was forced to play the ball just before his support could arrive, and it was a harmless effort to the goalkeeper, but it's good to see that they know what they're supposed to be doing right now.
And John Bedell, the former sports director, fly right in today's public address announcer, says Xavier took the first set 27-25. As the Flyers are down 1-0 against their I-75 rivals down in the Cintas Center in volleyball as the 18th ranked team. And that's another little bit of a push off there. That was by Tyler Whitmer this time. Whitmer gets the ball back. Not before the Flyers get it, and the Flyers now are going to push it. A nice little bit of nifty footwork there by Winrich. Winrich now over to Dombrowski. Dombrowski looking to feed another one of the subs just came on with his Leonard. Leonard with a nice long run, and I'll tell you right now, I don't understand how that's not a foul once again. That is the 4th time, and a lot of grabbing going on there, and I'm very surprised once again that Billy Kapik has got away with everything that he's done. And I'll tell you right now, he is just absolutely beating up the Dayton offense right now, single-handedly.
I can tell you why he got away with that one. That's because he lost the ball the first time. He loaded the shoulder and lost it. But
advantage, possibly? I mean, that's going to be offside. It's going to be offside as Calafiore was offside in the offside position, and the ball got to him, and it goes indirect free kick for the Dayton Flyers.
Well, clearly the substitution, I've always felt that Leonard's a little bit more of a physical presence up front. I'm thinking that's what they were going with, is trying to get a body on him, rock him around a little bit, maybe shake him up. And honestly, I think he's reveling in his role as a enforcer right back. But, he played a good, tight defensive game. I've definitely seen the skill there, too.
There's a nice, well-fed ball up there, but that's going to be offside. And that one was a lot closer than the first one, as the guy in the offside position was Winridge. And with 17 minutes and 30 seconds on the game clock, we exchanged the first offsides as both teams had their first offsides calls of the night. As Temple now will get their first indirect free kick of the evening. But on a very cool, crisp, and sometimes windy autumn evening here in Dayton, Ohio. This right here is going to be number 13 once again, to call it his name quite a few times, Winrich. Now back to Duran. Far side Flyers trying to get something working there, as that was Diley. Was able to get that ball off of a foot of a Temple Owl and get a throw in for the Flyers.
We haven't seen a whole lot of Duran this game. He's kind of phased out of this part of the first half. We've seen even less of Kreuziger over there in the midfield. But something you got to remember about players of their styles, they're doing a lot when you're not really seeing them doing much of anything. It's all about the positioning and just their presence in the middle of the field.
There's Billy Kapik just firing the ball down behind the Dayton, trying to find somebody behind the Dayton defense, but no one was there, and he kind of put his arms up in frustration, expecting a forward to be running, but he didn't have any of them. It's going to be Duran right in the center of the field. And one of the things, you're right, Duran has a lot of speed. For being that small of a guy, you would definitely expect him to have speed, but you have not been able to really see him go on a lot of runs yet.
Well, the way that Temple's been moving them around the field, I don't think he's had a whole much of a chance to get forward yet this game. And like I said, they aren't the biggest team in the world, but they play physical. There's handball there, but
and they call it, and the ref signals play on. Could have been gone as a foul or a handball or something, but nothing was called, and play will resume here down on the Temple side of the field, as that would be number 8 over there, Jared Harris, who this time was beating up the Flyer offense, which in Winrich has been knocked down a couple times early, as the Flyers are going to be back on defense as Diley gathers it up and passes it over to Pearson. Pearson, the junior out of England, Coventry, England. One of the other international players that we hinted on earlier. Right in front of us here, number 7, Nate Dombrowski. Dombrowski looking forward to Duran, and Duran had to stop because he knew he was in the offside position. I'll tell you what, I don't know if exactly he was, because over there trailing on the far side was, I believe that was Harris over there on the far side. He might have been on the onside position, and Duran actually didn't know it. But either way, it's going to go as Temple getting the ball back here with just under 15 minutes. 14:45 is on the clock right now. Still 0-0 between the Owls and the Flyers, and the Atlantic 10 home opener for the Dayton Flyers. They're 2 games in the Atlantic 10 already have been on the road, both of them being ties. With their 2 points they have are in sole possession of 8th place in the Atlantic 10. Leading the Atlantic 10, I really have no surprise, is the Charlotte 49ers. They have 21 total points. I believe they are 4-0, if I'm not crazy, on their record so far. So Charlotte once again proving to be that soccer powerhouse in the Atlantic 10. Last year, the Dayton Flyers were actually able to beat them in the regular season. Dayton went 8-1 last year in the Atlantic 10 play, and took a hold of conference play relatively early, and they really were grooving the whole year. Did not make the NCAA, which was definitely unfortunate, because that team last year was very good. 11 seniors, so a very good team.
Well, you can see the difference in the two teams here. Clearly, Temple 1- and 2-touch soccer, knocking the ball around. Dayton, they're playing just a little too slow right now. They like to get their heads up, look around, swing around, play the ball, and Temple's just applying a whole lot of pressure right now, and there's dallying on the ball a little too long.
We had 2 subs while we were looking at this. Andrew Dodge checked in for Temple, the sophomore midfielder out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, and for the Flyers, the freshman midfielder out of Powder Springs, Georgia. That's going to be number 4, Victor Duru. As Duru now is in a good position here for a ball and that's just going to be slid out. It looks as if it is going to be a corner kick given to the Flyers there. A very nice effort there. I was not able to check the number. That looks as if it was the freshman Charles Leonard, as Leonard had a very nice run there as he took that ball from right around the 18 and took it in, and almost was able to get a nice centering pass there as Duru was in a good position, but a corner kick results.
Like I said, when he gets moving, he's a very skilled player, and I like the way, very direct, just rolling straight at the goal. Once he got up his momentum there a little bit, there wasn't much they could do and stop him other than just knock the ball out.
Dombrowski now is going to take this corner kick, and he's going to be looking far post. Does he have somebody? He does. Not a very good hit on the ball there by Nelson. The Flyers are going to retain possession here. This is Watkins. Watkins now working on. That was once again number 4, Billy Kapik, and Kapik was able to get Watkins to the ground. So even the defensive player for the Flyers can even go down. This is Calafiore, was not able to get his foot on the ball, and that is going to go as a free kick for the Flyers. Looks as if that was going to be a foul committed by the substitute who just came in with his Andrew Dodds. Flyers picking up the pace very quickly, got the ball back in play over there on the far side. As I get a number there, now this is going to go all the way back, and that's going to go to number 21, which is, Michael Diley, but he was not able to keep the ball in bounds. A little bit of a rough-looking pass there from Victor Duru. Possibly they just became as a sub. That may explain a little bit of it.
Got to get his first touch on the ball first.
That is correct. Flyers now with possession as they're now establishing a little bit of offensive offensive possessions. That one's going to go between the legs of Calafiore, as Calafiore is all over Leonard. No foul call once again, as the Temple defenders and midfielders really had their way with every one of them. They're once again leading with the elbow. I think we need to start keeping a count here. Billy Kapic leads with the elbow against a Flyer offensive player.
Well, I know who you get to count for, Mike.
I will. I'm definitely going to count for him. I believe we're up to 5 now, and I think we'll keep that tally going as the Flyers now are going to have a sub. This is Aubrey Kebeneski, freshman midfielder out of Botswana. Another one of the international players is subbing out there was Ryan Bauer.
It's good to see them make full use of the bench this game. I'm not sure if maybe a little bit of fatigue the way they've been run around in the first half by the Owls, but
that's right. And both teams have been playing a very up-tempo game, so right, fatigue may be factoring a little bit into all this subs. But I think that's something that Dennis Kerr has done a lot. Is he really does like to use his bench, and he did it last. He didn't really use it a whole lot last year because he had a lot of seniors, and almost the whole lineup was seniors for the most part, so he didn't have to do that. But when you got a lot of youth like this, you want to keep them fresh, and since there is so much youth and so much really potential talent, you want to get as many bodies in as you can get. I believe you would agree with that, Evan.
I'd certainly have to agree with that, Mike.
Yeah, we're right now at the 10-minute mark here at Beaujean Field. Still nothing our score here as the youthful game here between the Owls and the Flyers has basically been just that. One shot on goal the whole game. That was by the Flyers early on. Since then, there's been 3 corner kicks for the Temple Owls, none of them resulting in shots. And only 2 corner kicks for the Flyers, also none of them resulting in shots. This is going to be number 20 right here in front of us, Oscar Kretzker from Germany. He's going to pass it back a little bit to Dombrowski. Dombrowski going on a little bit of a run. Goes through a slide tackle from Calafiore, but surprisingly did not hit Calafiore, and that is going to go as a goal kick for the Temple Owls, as they also will sub in now. They're going to sub in Evan Brandstorfer. And Brandstorfer is the junior forward from East Brunswick, New Jersey. He subs in for Tyler Whitmer, also a fellow midfielder, junior as well. And this is
certainly, you have to say at this point, Temple not looking like the young team. They're playing like an experienced team and knows exactly what they want to do.
That was not a very experienced
except for the goal kick there.
I was going to say, that was not a very experienced play. Nelms there and keeper was trying to swing the field, and it looks like he swung it just a little too much. Found nobody over there on the far side, and Dayton got the throw in. As the physical play continues, as Temple with a very good job on defense over there once again was Jared Harris. He was able to make a very nice play against the Flyer offense once again. And you really have seen, Evan, that I'll tell you right now, I've been incredibly impressed by this Temple defense. You know what, they may be very physical and they may be pushing a lot of the Flyers around, but I'll tell you what, they've been getting away with it, and really it has made the difference in this game so far.
It's been quite effective. The only chances Dayton's had are off of set pieces or balls, but they've played forward and just gotten behind them on. I mean, Temple, they don't quite have the play that they had going before, and good defense. But right there you saw just a brief glimpse of the passing that really helped them dominate the first 10 minutes of this game, and they haven't been doing it for the last 12 or so.
That's right, and Dayton really has controlled possession of the ball the last 15. As Dayton now once again gets the ball, this is going to be Leonard. Leonard passes back to Watkins, and Watkins will let things set up as he's going to boot it down the field. He was looking there for Duru. The sub just came on. I'm sorry, not Duru. That was actually Kebeneski. That will go in as a Temple throw-in with 7 minutes and 20 seconds left. And Evan almost kind of looking at this might be another one of the games where neither team really has been able to establish possession that much. As you've seen, really it's been a tale of 2 games so far, as Temple was able to establish possession very early, and then since then, the Flyers really have controlled possession, but have not been able to basically go the next step on offense.
Well, they've made a lot of saves. They haven't put in the starters back in a while. They're really getting the rotation, and from what I can see, the way this pans out to me, they're trying to tire out the Temple defense a little bit. We'll see if in the next minute or so they won't throw the starters back in, try and grab a goal before half. But we haven't seen McCreary or Beckett since probably
And Acevedo as well.
Probably
Acevedo was subbed
30
out
minutes
early.
in, they've all been out.
Acevedo is out, and once again, another one of the youthful players comes in. Badir Sherman just checked in for the Flyers as he now has the ball, but that one will be sent back to Tommy Watkins. Watkins battle. This is going to be number 22, which is Spurrier. Spurrier now passes over to number 7. He's going to get a nice shot, but that one will be deflected very nicely. That shot there by Andrew Dodds. Very nice job there by the Dayton defense, as Jonathan Nelson was able to get in on there and deflect that last shot by Dodds. And you see the Dayton defense, I'll tell you now, they swarm to the ball. If it comes anywhere near that 18 line, those are about 2 or 3 defenders all around the ball, Evan.
Oh, I think the main reason, Brad, something that's impressed me, I've been thinking about for the last couple of minutes, and it's Vaughn Spurrier has really impressed me up front for Temple. His footwork's been excellent. He's gotten in and out of the center backs fairly effectively. Really, he's given them fits up there, well with the player who subbed out ago. Number 6, Tyler Whitmer. He as well, they played a physical game. I don't think Dayton's played a team this physical yet this year. I think that's really thrown them off their game. They're really used to playing just touch and go, and these guys are playing bump and go.
And they've been getting away with it as well. That's going to be offsides, yes.
I think it's really thrown them off.
All right, there was a relatively easy call there made by the sideline official right in front of us. Offsides called by Temple, as the perpetrator there was Evan Brandsdorfer. The Flyers will get another indirect kick here. Is right in front of us. This will be Watkins. With a lot of open room, he's looking to chip it forward. He does. It's now going to be controlled by Oscar. It looks as if this one might just go out, as that's very, very close to obstruction, and I'm very surprised that was not obstruction. As Evan, once again, my favorite player, Billy Kapik, and I'll tell you right now, that guy has gotten away with a lot of things tonight. And I'll tell you, one of the rules I learned in officiating camp was you can't put your arms out when the ball like that. And I'll tell you now, he had his elbows out and everything, and still got away with obstruction and everything.
Clearly, you got a referee who used to be a defender here.
Absolutely.
Even pretty much the rule I'd seen is after you'd shielded someone on a touch line for more than probably 3 seconds, and that one seemed to go on forever. Typically, they're gonna ping you for obstruction there.
And I think he didn't want to call that because it was going to be a PK. If so, there's going to be a nice feed there, but not able to get his foot on the ball. There was Duru. Duru now is going to go chase it outside the 18, trying to get a little bit as he gets knocked down by. That's going to be number 3 over there, Zuleta. And once again, the physicality of this Temple defense is making the difference here with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Is Dayton really not able to get anything going? And you might see that Dayton just doesn't want to be physical with them or what. And that is going to go as a that one is going to go as a direct kick for Temple, pretty far back. As the advantage was given as that foul committed by Jonathan Nelson back there on defense. Now Temple is going to get a free kick from about 15 yards from the 18. 3 minutes now remaining on the clock. Still 0-0 our score here, Temple and Dayton. But in a game where there's been with a lack of shots, have definitely not been. This game has not really been turned down by that. There's been a lot of physical play here, as both defenses have really been able to manhandle the offenses, especially when talking about the Temple defense. Now going over to take that is going to be Dayton's favorite defender right now, Billy Kapik, once again, as we call his name quite consistently on all play. And I'm almost sad that he's going to be on the other side of the field for the next time. We won't see him as much.
Well, you're going to get all the information you need from the Dayton supporters in the second half.
Oh, yes.
They're certainly going to let you know. And if not, I look at that man wearing a gorilla suit on the sideline.
And look at Duran. Duran with just so much speed there on the far side as he was able to get a relatively decent ball, and that one is going to go out as a throw-in. But what a nice run there by Marlon Duran. As soon as we mentioned about 10 to 15 minutes ago about not seeing his speed, you see his speed. The Flyers now under 2 minutes. Taking this throw-in will be Michael Diley. There's going to be a missed push right there. I'll tell you now, that's going to go down as a push, but I'll tell you right now, I think there was a little bit of acting done on that part. That right there was Oscar Kretzker. I'm sorry, Kretzinger, excuse me. I can never say his name right, but Kretzinger was able. He had a little bit of a foul there. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Jack Pearson. Excuse me. Thank you, Evan. Thank you for that correction. See, 8-0. They look so common.
Very, very similar. I
Very
think,
close.
Mike, what you got there was the product of a center back trying to play forward. And you know it's probably his dream, and he feels like he marks them all day so he can play it, but doesn't quite have the skill set.
Ooh, and that's going to go as an offside. Is very, very close. As 1 minute, the 1 minute has just been called by the public address announcer, John Bedell. Since that offsides was on Dayton's number 4, Victor Duru once again. Duru, unfortunately, being actually I take that back, and now I see his number. It's Kebenesi. Excuse me. They never have big enough numbers. Never have big enough numbers to be seen.
Mike, for the likes of us, they need numbers about as big as the person for us to be able to read them from here. So
that is correct. They can never have them the right way. Dayton's going to get a throw in now. 25 seconds. As you hear the little bit of the sign of approval, I guess you would say, by that, as there's just two hands in the back there. Rodrigo Zuleta, I'll tell you right now, I'm trying not to laugh, and I'm holding it back, but this Temple defense is starting to get almost a little too physical for my likes. There was a 2-hand to the back of a Dayton player not called. And I mean, I know at this point in time it doesn't make much of a difference, as the clock just went out and Dayton was not able to get anything out of that. We go 0-0 into halftime, but definitely the story of the first half, the Temple defense playing so physical as Dayton was able to get a few different opportunities, but not able to capitalize on those opportunities, and we're at a 0-0 tie here after 1 period of play. So, Evan, I think that real quickly we'll kind of wrap up a little before we take our own halftime break. But I'll tell you right now, as we mentioned before, the story of this has been the Temple defense. They've definitely played fantastically.
Well, they certainly rallied around the loss of their goalkeeper early, and they've certainly been none the worse for it. They put on an impressive clinic of strength and physical play, shall we say.
Absolutely. Yeah, Brett, it'd be interesting to see here if Brett Mullen will come back for the Temple Owls. We have not seen him since he entered the locker room with about 4 minutes into the game as he took a spike to the head from Evan McCreary. And definitely the towel was full of blood as he walked by, and hopefully we hope he is okay, and hopefully he can return to this game. But in his absence, Fran Nelms has done a fantastic job continuing the shutout, only facing 1 shot. And so far, that's all he's had. All he's really need to do, as the Temple defense is basically taking it from there. So we're going to take ourselves a little bit of a break here for halftime. We'll return in a few minutes with all the second half action here on, where are we on? Flyer TV and everywhere else. So we thank you. We'll be right back with the second half of play.
once he put him in the bear hug there, I don't think he was too worried about getting away with a foul there or not.
That's correct. But kind of slows the play down a little bit. Here's Dodds, but that header is going to go a little bit wide. Now that's going to be to Oscar. Oscar passing back now. Here's Tommy Watkins. Tommy Watkins going to look to clear it. Instead, he's going to go midfield to Duran. Duran now swings it over to Diley. Diley over to Duru. Duru. It's a little bit of footwork. He's going to pass back. Be fed up to no Flyers there. Calaflore, excuse me. Now Dombrowski gathers it up, but not before the Temple defense once again breaks it up, and everybody's favorite defender, Billy Kapic, over there on the far side, gets the ball, has now got the Temple offense started. It's going to be Duran. Duran with a nice slide tackle is going to break up any chance there. A little bit of a no-look pass. Once again, Temple gets it, and it's almost the way the ball's moving, it's almost too fast to call, as both these teams are once again still playing kickball almost 5 minutes into the second half. Far side, that will be number 9 there. That was Kebonetsky. Kind of a tough one to say there. Kebonetsky not able to get to the ball. This right here is at midfield. A nice little battle between number 5 there, which is Brandsdorfler of the Owls, and number 6, Nelson of the Flyers. Out of bounds. Throw and went to the Owls, and now the Owls will have possession back on their side of the field, looking for something here in the middle. That was to Spurrier again. Spurrier now is able to knock that one back to Kapic. Kapic passes it up. Now once again here's Spurrier again with a little bit of opportunity. Nice little move there, trying to find a man. Plays with the ball. He found Calaflore, who was sprinting down the center of the field, but was not able to get the ball there. Nice job of breaking up that play there. This time by number 28, Jack Pearson. And Pearson's been doing a good job, and here he is once again as he's just going to clear that ball out. There's nothing going there.
Well, I can tell you right now, one issue, not enough movement up front from the Flyers forwards. Even the wings are getting pushed in a little bit. You see Duran venting the frustration as well as Jack Pearson. They're simply not they're not moving enough to really create the lanes that they need. And honestly, I think they need a substitution pretty quickly to change it up front.
I would agree with that, and I think that has a lot to do with the subs that are in now. Really, the starting lineup was able to get a lot of movement. There wasn't a whole lot of subs that they were able to one that I'm surprised wasn't back in there was Jordan Beckett. Jordan Beckett was having a fantastic job of the forward. He missed 2 headers just barely. Was not really able to get any other offensive going there, but he's been in the thick of everything, and he's not on the field right now. And I'd venture to say he'll be back in probably to finish out the game after that goal kick there. Temple has now gotten the ball. Excuse me. It's going to be Nelson over there working on the Temple defense. That will go out as Evan Brandsdorfer ended up getting the better of the freshman defender. Here's Spurrier. Spurrier broken up there very nicely, and that was fouled. That was a foul on Ryan. I believe that was number 21 there for the Flyers, which is Michael Diley. Temple once again gets the ball right back, and it's going to be offside. Yes, very easy call there. That was number 5 as Evan Brandsdorfer was quite obviously offside. It's a very quick swing of possession, and I'll tell you right now, Temple almost caught a break by having almost a wide open one-on-one there.
That shows you that the quick restart isn't always the best course of action there. And Duran held on to the ball a little too long, got run down from behind. He may be quick, but he's not a speed merchant out there.
The card sends it down the field. That header won by the Temple Owls. Once again, number 8, Jared Harris getting in there, and Duran with a nice slide tackle to slow anything down as he took down Andrew Dodds. You can see the Owls weren't necessarily happy with the way that challenge was made. Taking this throw in is Zuleta. The Flyers gather now. They're going to send it down the field. Header there won by Hemmer. The Flyers now have gotten it back once again. Now they're pushing down the field. Once again, the Temple defense just able to really close all the gaps that the Flyers have had, and really the forwards. You mentioned that the forwards haven't been moving, but you almost want to say there hasn't been a whole lot of gaps for the forwards to find, really.
No, I think Temple's definitely moving much better now than coming forward. They've been much more impressive this half.
I'll tell you right now, Spurrier had a lot of room to work there, and nobody really wanted to close the gap as Nelson didn't. He sent a nice pass there to Dodds on the left side, but he was not able to get his left foot on the ball very well. He was actually in the offside position, but that shot was well high and wide, but it's going to go as an offsides call and will be an indirect kick for Dayton. But there, Temple has been able, I've really been impressed with the way Temple has been able to swing the field. Granted, we were talking about how much they're playing kickball, but once they get possession, they want to try to settle down and do a little bit of an offense, and you really haven't. And really, this is more credit to Dayton as well, as they haven't been able to let them get in that offensive flow. And really, Dayton hasn't been able to find a flow either. And easily, it could be a set one set piece might be the difference between this game, Evan. There's Duru, and that one will be a throw-in for the Flyers as another elbow is thrown there, this one time by Zuleta against Duru.
Yeah, so they're certainly not afraid to throw the elbow.
That is correct. This is going to be taking the throw-in is Diley. Diley with a bit of a throw. He's going to go over there and try to get this one as everything kind of clears out. He's going to feed it in with the left foot over to the far side. Trying to get ahead on that was Dombrowski, but not able to get head on it, and Temple has control of the ball now and trying to push it up. Tommy Watkins able to get his foot on it. He's going to try to control passes over to Duran. Duran tried to get that one there to Sherman, but it was broken up by Temple, and Temple's now swinging it very quickly, and that went off Calaflor's legs, and a little bit of a bad pass there. Calaflor was really in a bad position there, as he was definitely very much out of position, and that pass should not have been anywhere near him.
Well, it's true for baseball, and it's for the most part true with soccer. If you're getting hit with the ball while on offense, it's not a good thing.
And here's Duran with a shot, and boy, that one just went wide, as that was a very nice looking one. You gave him just a little bit of room, and you really see what he can do. If that one's on target, that one's definitely a goal in that upper 90, Evan.
I think it's probably about the only second shot on goal they've really registered this whole game. They haven't tested the backup goalkeeper at all. They haven't had much chance, but I think they're really going to need to keep the passing going on the ground if they want to unlock the Temple defense right now. They're playing very well as a unit, and they really need to do a lot more to threaten the goal.
Right as I mentioned that Jordan Beckett should be back in the game, he does check in, and see his appearance is felt right now as he's over there challenging the ball. This is going to be Dombrowski, though, on the far side, and he slides that ball out. It looks as if it's going to go as a throw-in for Temple, and yes, it will go in as a throw-in for Temple. So still the Dayton offense not able to get going. It's almost been a consistent story, and we almost sound like broken records when we say it.
You sound like the broken record.
I do.
I sound like a fresh one. I always try and come up with new things. It's you using all the same phrases all the time.
And who's still using the vinyl records? I think that's what it really comes down to. Oh boy, and that one looks like it could have been a handball, and I'll tell you right now, about 3 Flyers put their arms up, and I think nobody had a better view of that than the official, and he just kind of ignored it as if nothing happened. And the whistles have been at times silent, and really they have been silent almost the whole game.
It's been a fairly lightly officiated game.
That's correct, and
nothing wrong with that.
Nope, not at all. That one might be a foul, but nope, as Duran got away with that one. That one's going to go out. It's going to be a throw-in for the Owls. This will be taken by Zuleta right in front of us. Passed it in to Spurrier. And Zuleta once again now try to send it up the field. A little bit more luck. Not really a whole lot. That one, very nice job there keeping that ball in by Duru. Duru doing a really good job. He's now going to be able to clear out to his defense. Look at the Flyers going to try to swing the field. Here's Tommy Watkins. Now he's going to go right up the middle of the field. He's going to get that one over to Dombrowski. Dombrowski with a lot of room to work. He's also going to feed up. Now he's looking for Beckett. Beckett I don't think will be able to make it to that one. No, he will not. That'll be a goal kick for Temple.
Like I said, I'd still looks like they have got the wrap on the keeper's head, and he's switched jerseys. Looks like they're trying to get him back in the game.
That's correct. He sure has. As we see down there, wearing a bright orange jersey is Brett Mullen. Looks as if he will be entering the game very shortly as we're having some substitutions here. Ryan Bauer is checked in for the Flyers. And Tyler Whitmer, one of the original starters, is also checked back into the game here with 32 minutes remaining in the second half. Dayton Temple tied at 0, as they would say in England.
Too much on the dribble there. He's got to look for the release much faster there.
That is absolutely correct, and that just comes down to the freshman mistake, or the mistakes that we talk about made by the inexperience. That was Sherman. Sherman not able to really get rid of that ball. And here is a nice shot on goal, and Temple, wow, and that was just missed. Originally, a very nice shot down there. That was by, I believe it was by number 5, Brandsdorfler, and a very nice job by Picard. And having a wide open shot on the goal was Andrew Dodds, and he booted it over the music building. So definitely Dayton catches a break there as Dodds had a wide open net. Was not able to capitalize on, and the Flyers are all breathing a collective sigh of relief as they are lucky this game is still tied here at 0.
And we've all been there, Mike.
We have.
There's a reason they're playing on this level, and missing shots like that's not why.
Yep, that is correct, and that is going to be, everybody has a moment like that. Now, here's a very dangerous position here for the Temple Owls as Dayton gets a free kick, and we just saw what Marlon Duran did with just a little bit of free room. Now we'll see what he'll do now that he has 10 yards difference, see if he can do anything here with this particular set piece. Excuse me. Duran will take the kick. It's going to be fed into the box, but nobody being there as that one was going after Jack Pearson, and Pearson was originally very upset, thinking that he maybe had his jersey pulled before he jumped up, but no call made. Gathered up very easily by Nelms, and Nelms now will send it flying down the other end of the field. There's Beckett. Beckett now over there. I believe that is to number 10 of the Flyers. That's going to be Bauer. Bauer just checked back in, was also in the original starting lineup. Here is going to be Beckett once again. Beckett playing more of a midfield right now. He's going to send it far side, swings the field completely over to Duru. Duru not able to get a good enough foot on the ball. Temple will get it back. This right here is Dodds, and Dodds just trying to kind of get it out of there as he was challenged a lot by Diley. And that should probably be a foul, but it looks as if it will not be called, as Diley went down hard there on a very, very hard challenge from Dodds, and Diley went down hard. We're here at just under 30 minutes, 29 minutes, 20 seconds remaining on the game clock here at Beaujean Field. Once again, still in a 0-0 tie, as it looks as if offside will be called, as Beckett was in a offside position, and that will go as a, actually no, this is going to be incorrect, as the sideline official originally looks as if he was originally going to call an offside, but instead he is calling a foul on one of the Temple Owls, and looks as if this might be a free kick for the Flyers, probably really close to the 18. As eventually that's what it's going to be. And kind of give a little bit of a rule here is that the head official does not have to acknowledge a call by a side official. Now the side official is just there as an assistant, and the head official does make the final decision. It looks as if he originally called thinking it was offside, but he got clarification. And now this is going to go as a free kick for Marlon Duran as he stands just outside the 18. Oh, wow, what a little bit of a break there. It looks as if it was going to be I was very surprised that was an offside call to begin with, but I did not think it was going to be a free kick for the Flyers. And I'll tell you now, the head official is moving him back.
This would be a wonderful ball to play right through the box right there.
I would agree. I'm thinking a nice low shot is what I'm thinking too. Just get a nice right foot on it here. It's a great opportunity. Now here we go, Duran with a nice feed. Nobody was able to get a head or a foot on it. So we pass back to Duru. Duru trying to get a little bit of a foot on it, but gathered up very easily by Nelms. And what it looked to be very promising there for the Flyers ended up resulting in nothing, as nobody was able to get a foot off the Marlon Duran set piece. We're back going here. It's either a little more of a charge now on the Flyers if they can try to get back on offense and keep it down there. Over there on the far side now. Now with the ball is Kapik. Over to number 13, Bradbury. Calaflora with it, and now over here to the near side. This is going to be to Zulea. Broken up by Duran. Duran's going to send that one just above the Flyers bench, and it's going to go as a throw-in for Temple, as Temple trying to keep the pace going very fast. It's going to be off of Dodds, and now the Flyers will have their free kick over there on the over here on the near side. You can kind of see there's definitely an increased amount of talking by both teams after that out of that free kicking here. Both benches and coaches and everybody's communicating a lot more. As Duru was able to hit that one off of the captain there, Jared Harris. The Flyers will once again get another throw, and this time taken by Diley.
It's good to see everybody getting into the game here. I like the atmosphere we got going here, and both these teams are clearly going to win this game. I like the physicality of this game. It's toned down a little bit, in my opinion. Not as rough as it was in the first half, but certainly.
I think
still a good game.
Is due in part to the Flyers really staying away from Kapik over there on the far side. They've definitely been working the near side most of this half, and really have stayed away from Kapik, who really has been incredibly physical over there on the far side defense.
Maybe they saw something that we.
Here's Spurrier with a nice move. He's trying to get a shot up, but Picard might get it, but Calaflora is going to get a goal there, and that will be the first goal of the game as Temple scores. That is going, as we mentioned, that is Cody Calaflora, the sophomore out of Howell, New Jersey, gets the first goal. Set up very nicely there by the freshman Vaughn Spurrier out of Cleveland, as he was able to really put that ball. He's down on the ground right now, but anyway, Picard was beaten as he made a really nice save originally on Spurrier's shot, but then with not enough defenders around, there's about 5 white shirts around the ball and only about 2 red shirts and one keeper. And if you don't need to be a math major to understand that left a wide open net there, and the Owls have capitalized, taking a 1-0 lead.
How many people were in the box there, Mike?
I'm sorry?
How many people were in the box
I believe there was at least 3 or 4 white shirts. I can say that. I think I said 5, but there was definitely quite a few. And for Calaflora, that is going to be his 3rd goal on the season, bringing his point total up to 8, which will be tied for the team lead, if I'm not crazy. Yes, so he will now be tied for the team lead with Tyler Whitmer, who also has 3 goals and 2 assists on the season. So 25 minutes and 51 seconds remain on the clock right now. Temple has just taken a 1-0 lead, and I think that was something it was going to be was greatly feared by the Flyers. If they just got one opportunity to go down here, if that defense had just the slightest gap in it, Temple was really going to capitalize on it, and they did a really good job there in the last about 3 to 4 minutes of getting that goal. They really did a nice job of getting good ball movement. You've been commenting all game about how good their ball movement is and finding the open man.
I think their playmakers out of the game for now. Vaughn Spurrier's had plenty of room to run for the team. I think that's really what killed him, is they've given him so much room. He made an excellent turn to get that ball played across there, and it certainly looks like he paid for it. But for me, Dayton's their forwards haven't done enough today. Their outside midfield play has been almost non-existent. They're being frustrated by a team they clearly think they should be beaten right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe that is something that is commonly felt amongst all the Flyers right now. They definitely feel they should be in control of this game, and they're not. They're down 1-0, and now this right here is the key, really the key for Dennis Courier. And this group is full of a lot of freshmen, and I'll tell you now, they've had a lot of things against them. They have not been getting the calls. They've been going against a very physical team. Now, if they start getting calls against them, I mean, you got to make sure this team just does not have a complete blow-up, and really hope that they can stay in the game.
Well, I'm not 100% certain on some of the personnel decisions that have been made today. No offense to the other Flyers, but it appears to me that Dayton does not have their A team out there right now.
I would venture to agree with that. I think a lot of the substitutes have been kept in that were made late in the first half, and a lot of them have stayed in. The only major one that was actually changed in or subbed back in was Beckett, as Beckett's right in the mix of everything now. But that's going to be I'm sorry, it's not Calaflora. This is I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. Looks as if Dayton's going to gather it, as that's going to be Jack Pearson now passing it back to Picard. And unfortunately, this will not be Tyler Picard's 6th shutout, which we mentioned before. And Evan, we talked about one of our keys to the game earlier is really the keepers. With the young team, both of the keepers were relatively experienced. Of course, now that's not the case with Nelms being back at keeper instead of the more experienced Mullen. But anyways, really it was the keepers that were going to be the difference in this game, and that's going to be an easy foul. That was going to be Dodds. Dodds fouled Victor Dewar relatively easy, took his legs right off underneath him. It's going to go as a free kick for the Flyers. I believe you're going to see Durant take this one, as he's had a couple nice set pieces, but really we'll talk about that, Evan, is that really Durant's had about 3 or 4 different free kicks, and he really has not been able to find somebody to get a head or a foot on it, and they've been really nice. And we'll see what he does here. So they're going to swing it far side this time. So if they're going to try to get it over, they're going to get over there to the defender, Nelson. Nelson's going to pass it back to Bauer. Bauer now working the far side. He's going to try to feed it in. It's going to be really high, and someone tries to get a head on it. That was a head, but jumping over, and now Duran has a tie, and Duran's, I'm sorry, that's not Duran, that's Duru. And Duru gets a goal. What a nice job there. That was a broken play, like absolutely unbelievable broken play, as Franz Nelms jumped over his own defender to get that ball, lost the ball on the way down, and there to clean it all up was Victor Duru. And Victor Duru, the freshman, gets a goal. And I'll tell you right now, that was something that Temple is not very happy about. They believe that that should have been called as a penalty, which I definitely disagree with, because that was definitely not a penalty. As I think Nelms had to jump over his own defender to get that.
You saw the same thing with Picard in the first half. He made a similar move. Now, I'm going to answer some of your questions in order. But
please, go ahead.
I had a lot. The first one about Duran, I think his selection on free kicks has been rather poor. I think he's not you saw that last one. It was really a little bit of nowhere, even though it somehow led into that goal.
It ended up working.
He needs to make better selection. So overall, we went back to the beginning of games that they'd been getting shots on goal. And you look at the thing, they're only listed as having 2 shots on goal this whole game. They have not put the ball to the keeper. They put the ball to the keeper right there, and he couldn't bring it down. He just dropped it. I mean, you gotta test the goal early and often. They haven't done that.
And we get the confirmation from John Bedell over the loudspeaker that was Duru's first goal of the season. And I'll tell you right now, that was definitely kind of a broken play, but I believe the Flyers are going to take it, and they end up tying the game here at the 23rd with 23 minutes left. Now we're at 22:40, as with a lot of room. It does Beckett. He had a lot of room to work with, but was not able to make anything of it. Temple has regained possession. Now Dayton has regained possession. I'll tell you right now, Temple's starting to make this game look a lot chippier than what it actually was, as laying on the ground for quite a while was the captain there, and that's going to be Harris. And Harris still has really not got up to his feet. He's still trying to milk it a little bit. That's right here, right in front of us is going to be Beckett. Beckett now is able to get it back to Diley. Diley now over to Duru. Duru just mentioned he scored the goal. Now he's trying to make something work. Those nice orange shoes. He just split the defense and was not able to get a nice shot off on that one. I think he was trying to pass it, but I think he was so amazed, as everybody else in the stands was, that he was able to actually get a foot on that
he
ball.
He wormed his way in between 2 players. Not the best selection, going 1v2 in the corner like that, but all that wonderful work for such a poor cross.
Yeah.
It was a really feeble effort on the cross, but a quite impressive cut, and he was able to just slice in between them.
Tell you right now, I do like those orange boots that he's wearing right now. The Nike Mercutios, if I'm not crazy, but
you can't miss him.
That's right, you can't miss him. That's for sure. And Duru definitely put those boots to good use. Gets that goal there. 1-1. Once again, we'll mention is our tie, as you can see on the upper right-hand corner of your monitor. Temple now has the ball here. This is going to be number 13. That was Bradbury again. Bradbury's going to pass it over to his fellow defenseman, Zuleta. Bradbury now looking for somebody else. Broken up by Dayton. Now Dayton's going to try to go on the offensive. That's Oscar over to here to Beckett, and Beckett was able to somehow get his foot behind his head to get that one. That's pretty fancy.
For a big man, he spends an awful lot of time on the ground. I don't know, not really sure why that is, but maybe a couple of years from now we'll see him learn to keep his feet a little better.
Yeah, or learn how to maybe get some bigger spikes. Now here's Dodds over here, and Dodds is going to be ruled offsides. It's going to go as an indirect kick for the Flyers, as Dodds still hasn't been able to really rebound from his open goal attempt. See, once again, it's called for offsides. It's been called offsides twice since that has happened. And now here we're at the 20-minute and 30-second mark. Dayton just managed to tie it up, and we're still here at 1-1 here at Beaujean Field. Thank you for joining us here on Flyer TV and DaytonFlyers.com. Hope that you are enjoying our broadcast. I am Michael Purvis, alongside me, as always, Evan Degger, bringing you the last remaining 20 minutes here of this Atlantic 10 contest. And a very familiar spot here for the Flyers in Atlantic 10 play, as they are once again tied. As this one's going to be fed over here to Duru again. Duru was not able to really get anything on that one. That was a relatively decent ball he was not able to make anything of. That's going to go as a goal kick for the Temple Owls.
Oh, his first touches have been good, and his dribbling is good. He can't. He hasn't found his follow-up on his cross. I'm amazed he's able to settle that effort personally. So there's nothing lost, because most people wouldn't have gotten it anyway.
This right here is going to be Nelms with the goal kick. Down there now, this is going to be gathered in still. This is Duran. Now Duran up to Beckett. Beckett looking with a very nice pass almost, but Kebenesi was actually moving very quickly down there. And a nice bit of defense there by Beckett as he really wants that ball. He's going after all the defenders there for Temple, trying to get that ball back. On the far side, that looks to be Duran coming in there, was able to make a play in Duran. You see him, now you're starting to see making his presence known as he's been on all sides of the field the last few minutes.
That goal took a lot out of the Temple Owls there. Dayton, they're playing 100% better than they were.
I'll tell you right now, there's another foul is going down. There was Kinderwater, and we'll go with a little bit of a flop there. He looks as if that spike to the back of to his back there looked a little too overplayed, but that's soccer for you. So here's going to be Billy Kappick here. Once again, taking the free kick here at the 18:20 mark on the scoreboard here at Beaujean Field. It's going to be fed in. Header there by Duru, but now here's Dobbs with a shot, and he's going to miss well high and wide once again. And Dobbs still having that syndrome of not able to get a shot on goal, as pretty much all three of his shots that he's taken tonight have been well off the mark, well high and away, and they've almost been closer to hitting the NCAA participation sign than they've been hitting anything within the two posts.
That's an impressive feat when you're considering he took one from about 5 yards out on what was more or less an open net. You have to try to miss with that kind of regularity.
Right now, it's almost as if there was a goal on top of the music building over there. Now, his right here is going to be Beckett. Beckett trying to get a little bit of separation. He goes down, but there's going to be no foul call, and that's once again in the middle of it, Billy Kappick. Once again, we keep calling his name. Anytime a Flyer gets the ball, I feel like he's right there. It's going to be fed in. There's going to be a bit of a header attempt as getting an elbow to the back there from Rodrigo Zuleta. A no foul call as Michael Diley took a shot from behind. No foul call, and I'll tell you, there's going to be a foul call. Looks like that's going to be a little bit of a retaliation there as Pearson took down an owl, and he's going to get a yellow card for it, probably deserved. But I'll tell you, I think that'll test a little bit to the way this game has been going. There's been a lot of physical play by Temple that hasn't been called, and the next thing you know, the Flyers need to do something about it. And really, I think this game is on the borderlines of getting out of control, especially with fouls, because both teams are a little chippy, and I think that's only going to get more as this game gets closer and closer to closer and closer to the end.
I feel like this half started off fairly clean compared to the half prior to it, but they're certainly picking up a little bit. We'll see if their coaches calm them down or if it gets even more frantic in the last 17 minutes.
There's going to be Calaflor is going to take that, and that wasn't even close, and he is very, very upset with himself as he sent that one down, and he knew almost as soon as that left his foot that one was going to be well too far for Kappick over there on the far side, and the Flyers are now going to get their throw in. So now it's going to be maintained over the far side by Ryan Bauer right now. Jumping the route there. That was a very nice job of jumping the route. Looks as if that was, can't exactly tell his number there on the far side. And whoever that is was able to split the defense and is going to get a goal kick out of it. The one off him is that Evan. I don't know if you can get a number on that player who it was. I definitely can't. I'm not quite sure exactly who he is, but we'll get that one for you. Actually, that is Homero Rodriguez, number 11. He must have been one of the subs in at the end. Yes, that is Homero Rodriguez. Well, there's a little bit of a misplay there. Number 9, this right here is going to be Kebenesi. Kebenesi with a nice chance. This is going to be Oscar taking a shot, but that's going to be wide as Oscar Kretzinger's shot just went a little bit wide, and that's going to be another goal kick. Here we're inside 16 minutes at 15:50 is on the clock here at Beaujean Field. Still tied at 1 between the Temple Owls and Dayton Flyers. At times there's been excitement. I think both goals were relatively unexpected. I think they kind of both came off of busted plays and busted coverage. Really, that's how both of these goals both the goals were scored by Calaflora and Duru. Really, they both came off of broken plays. And that right there is going to be a foul on Jordan Beckett as somebody else just got a knee to the face. That is going to be number 8 for Temple, which is Jared Harris, and he is still down. I believe he got a knee to the noggin as well. I'm gonna give the Flyers a little bit of credit on that one. Some of these guys are able to get their legs pretty high for how tall they are, and they're hitting some of these smaller players. I think this is the second time this year Evan McCreary, and that's something interesting too. I just happened to mention his name. Evan McCreary, we have not seen him back in since that initial yellow card for taking out that took out Brett Mullen, the keeper. We have not seen him back yet, and I think he's starting to get warmed up over there on the side with about 15 minutes and 19 seconds left as the play has been stopped. But Evan McCreary has not been back in. Neither has Andreas Acevedo. Neither one of them. They were taken out relatively early in the first half, and we have not seen them since. And I think as we say that, they both are warming up there on the sidelines. We'll see that if Dennis Courier wants to bring them in as we've just restarted play. Duran was able to get his head on it. Here's Calaflora. Nice battle of the ball there by Beckett as Beckett was able to win that one, but Temple quickly wins it back and they're swinging it the other way. A nice job there by Nelson, and right as I was about to compliment Nelson, he gets called on the original foul. Temple was given the advantage call right away, and the second foul was called on Nelson. The ball will be placed at the spot of the first one. And taking the free kick will be Cody Calaflora. He has the lone goal for the Temple Owls tonight. Mentioned he basically scored on a broken play as Picard's able to do. He's just going to try to chip this one in, and that one's going to go well wide of the goal and go out for a goal kick for the Flyers. So the Temple Owls now spoil a relatively golden opportunity there with a very nice free kick, and that chip didn't go very far. Actually, it went too far, excuse me.
Just a bit outside.
To quote the infamous Bob Uecker. Great man. Definitely one of the great personalities in baseball. And the Flyers are still just trying to find just a little bit of a seam. They were able to get that one seam where Dubru was able to score his goal. But so far, they have not really been able to find too many seams in this Temple defense, and definitely credit their physicality. Really, they just have been very good. As I'll tell you right now, is that Beckett just did had a little slip there, and that gave a little bit of advantage there. But that shot taken over there on the far side by, I believe that was number 13. Excuse me, Alex Winrich. Yeah, Winrich took that shot. Not able to get it. I was able to get it on goal, and a very nice job there by Nelms to stop any further damage from happening. Calaflora is going to pass over here to the near side. That is going to be to Whitmer. Whitmer, who was a sub in. Now he's trying to do his work. He's got the corner. Now he's going to try to find someone to pass to, but no, not before it is cleared out there. Very nice job by the Dayton defense, as that one was that was Kretzinger, excuse me.
Unfortunately for Diley, he was beaten twice with the exact same move.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't bode well for the coaches to watch their right back be beaten twice by the same man on the same play. But fortunately, no harm, no foul for him.
Now, Temple has gotten a series of throw-ins. Now there's going to be their second one in a row. So here's going to be taken by Rodrigo Zuleta. And Evan, I think what I'd like to see, what I've seen so far is even this game has picked up the pace a little bit. Now it's kind of slowing down a little bit. I think that does accredit the youth. Is that I think you're gonna see this game really start to pick up here in the last 12 minutes. I just have this feeling that you're just gonna see these guys just come out and they're just gonna come out firing on all cylinders here. I definitely think that Dayton does not, as well as I guess considering what they had last year, going 8-1 in Atlantic 10 play. I really don't think they wanted to start off the season with 3 ties. Especially this one at home, the home opener. There's Dubru. Dubru would try and just not able to get enough power off the side of his foot there.
Oh, you're going to chalk that one. I think he's still a little nervous out there. But when he's finally tried to serve a ball in, when he's actually been called upon for service, he's let him down a little bit. But you see that the potential is still there.
Another one knocked out. The Flyers once again are going to get it. And as soon as we mentioned, looks as if Evan McCreary is getting loose. He just got called off the bench, and it looks as if Dennis Kerr is going to give him some instruction, and he's going to come in and finish out the last 10 minutes. As soon as the Flyers will probably get their next throw, and I believe he will be coming in. There's Dewar trying to win that, but looks as if he'll be called for a foul. Temple will get a free kick. kind of seen this now. Like, it's weird how I've not trying to comment on any of the officiating, but I'll tell you right now, like something like that is actually being called a foul now, where I think we've seen many players get knocked down to the ground with elbows and other ones that have been a lot less severe than what we've mostly been seeing here, or definitely seen early, Evan. Now the Flyers now are going to get a free kick, as that one was over there was Homero Rodriguez, and Rodriguez definitely showing his disapproval of the call, making a little bit of a scene, throwing his arms up in the air and everything, but there's definitely a couple calls from the fans in front of us to give him a card, as possibly for dissent.
Cards definitely have gone one way this game. Not to imply anything there.
And I don't think you're trying to do. Definitely don't think you're trying to do that. But I definitely would agree with that. You can't deny that there's been 2 cards handed to the Flyers. Both of them, I would say, relatively. I wouldn't say they're questionable. I mean, they'd be understandable. But I'll tell you right now, there's definitely been a lot worse fouls committed than the other 2. And here's a nice ball, and that is probably going to be a free kick, and that might end up being.
That might be.
It might be a red card. I'm not quite sure. It easily could be, and it is, as that was a obvious goal-scoring opportunity that was stopped. And let's see here, who was that ended up getting that? I believe that was Pearson in front of us, as he is checking off. Yes, that is Pearson, and Pearson ended up what was going to be a relatively looks as if it was going to be a one-on-one with this Tyler Whitmer, but Tyler Whitmer went down from that slide tackle from behind by Jack Pearson. And that was an absolutely fantastic ball that I didn't think was going to precipitate into anything, but it sure did. As Whitmer was able just to basically get on the side of Pearson, was able to really put him on his side and get a good position on the ball. And now there's going to be a free kick from about 4 yards outside of the 18, and Temple out with a fantastic opportunity to take the lead in this game 2-1, possibly.
Well, I can say a lot for Jack Pearson. One thing I could certainly say, that's not the first time I've seen him head into the locker room early, and as you notice, he did not stop by the bench for that one. He knew exactly. He just went straight into the locker room.
And what a little bit of a tricky job there by Temple, and I think that was best summed up by Calaflor over there on the far side as he threw his arms up in the air. As 3 Temple Owls went after that ball, and that was the last one who ended up getting the shot on it. It looks as if the Owls will get the throw in. It looks as if that was going to be a Dayton throw in initially, but Temple has the ball now. We're under 10 minutes, still tied at 1. Temple was not able to make any use out of that restart of play after the red card that was given to Jack Pearson for stop of an obvious goal-scoring attempt. I'll tell you right now, but if there was a moment for him to do that, it was definitely right there, because had it been any closer, it would have been inside the box, and that would have been an automatic penalty kick. This one's going to be over to Dodds. Dodds over here on the side. He's going to try to do something. He's going to center it. It's going to be passed up. Now here's a shot taken by number 13. That one's going to be missed, and it looks as if nice job there by Tyler Picard on the shot from Bradbury. And I don't exactly know what just happened there, but I don't know how Picard lost. How did Picard lose that?
It looked like he was fumbling with the ball, trying to bring it into his hands, and it came out.
Oh, no.
And honestly, about him and Dodds were the only people who realized the ball was out. Everyone else had turned their back already to head upfield.
Including myself. I was getting ready to look at something else, but it's going to go as a corner kick. Here's Calafiore right here. He's going to get another corner kick. This is the 6th corner kick for Temple, only 3 for Dayton. Here's Calaflor sending. It's going to be far side, and it's a goal. What a shot. Oh, my Lord. I didn't think that one had any shot at all, but that one went upper 90, and that is Calaflor's 2nd goal of the game, and they had to hold everybody back because he wanted to go celebrate right in front of that. But what a fantastic shot there by Cody Calaflor to get his 2nd goal of the game. And I'll tell you what, I have never once seen it in person until today, but somebody just scored off a corner. And what a great shot there by Calaflor to get his 2nd goal of the game. Fantastic effort there, and it was just unfortunate for Picard. It looks as if Picard really just misjudged that one.
Well, we'll go back to goalkeeping 101 right here. There's a reason as a goalkeeper you start from the back post when you make your run forward.
Now, I think that right there definitely goes down to positioning, as he was definitely positioned more towards the center of the goal. And had he been on that back post, he probably would have been there and just able to punch the ball out relatively easily. But anyways, it goes down as a goal as Calaflor gets his 2nd one of the game, and they've taken a 2-1 lead here. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left on the game clock. You got to see how the Flyers are going to respond now. As you know that they've controlled a lot of this game, but they have not been able to find really the seams. And now both of the goals scored by Temple, one on a broken play, the other one on a corner kick. Really, both of them are ones you wouldn't necessarily say are the ideal ways to score a goal, but they'll take them nonetheless. Dayton now here going to try to push it a little bit. Duer's cutting on the near side. I thought that was going to be near Duer, but going down there was McCreary, and I'll tell you, McCreary took a hard hit, and I think might be able to hear from the student section over there on the far side. They're displeased with that lack of a call.
I don't know if that was a foul there, but certainly he could have done some serious damage to him. So it's usually those weird-looking plays that end up being nasty foot injuries.
Well, it's a good thing he looks as if he's walking just fine. I'm kind of getting we're getting a couple notes here. Is Brian Apswich is the head linesman, and we've been talking about this quite often. We're getting this from the Dayton everybody over there. They're letting this game really has been getting physical, and he does have according to everybody over in the press box next to us. Really, he does have a lot of there's a lot of physicality to the game, and really he has, and this has definitely been confirmed by all the other guys. And he last week again he had the women's game against Rhode Island that was here. He also reffed that one and is also incredibly physical. There's not a whole lot of fouls, and I mean, really it said that not many of his fouls were called in the last minute of each half. And here's Brian Apswich, your head official tonight. It looks as if now there's a little bit of a bickering over a call once again, as McCreary seems to be begging for a foul now. It looks as if, at least according to this paperwork in front of me, and he's not going to get it.
Well, if there's ever an attempt to get yourself thrown out of a game working on one yellow card, that was about as blatant as you get.
Yep. It's almost
coming right out and swiping someone down who's not near the ball. It's
that's normally
certainly
grounds.
An interesting choice.
Pretty close.
Down 2-1 with 6 minutes still to play.
Looks as if there's going to be another throw in there awarded to Temple. But I think that we can also definitely agree that the inconsistency of the calls tonight definitely have been a factor in this. And I know, and Evan, I've always taken the stance personally on never blaming an official for causing a game. But I'll tell you right now, I think we both have really agreed with that the calls have been sporadic, and at times they have been quite questionable at best. I mean, I think we were up at a count of about six different fouls that probably should have been called on Billy Kapik on the far side, and he really wasn't. And I think that definitely attests to the physical play that the officials have allowed, especially with the head official of Brian Apswich.
Well, Mike, in my personal experience, I've always preferred a more physical game. I'm gentler than you in the fact that I have certainly blamed referees for losing games before. I don't know about this.
I don't think you can blame it on this. I really don't.
The red card was led to a bad turnover by Bauer, and you can't really. The goal that was scored, well, that was just a moment of loss of focus.
Definitely would agree. And there's Durant finding a lot of room there. That was going passed it over to Ryan Bauer. Now over here on the far side, this is going to be Tommy Watkins. I'm sorry, this is Ryan Bauer. Excuse me. This right here is going to be Ryan Bauer. Ryan Bauer trying to get in the corner. He's going to try to feed it. He does. Trying to find just a foot. So here's going to be Oscar Kritzker. Oscar trying to just get another foot on it as well, and he's not able to do it. Now he's going to clear it out. This is going to be to Bauer, and Bauer not able to get it. And Temple will clear it out as there was a lot going here. We are now at the 4-minute, 10-second mark, and Dayton is definitely trying to speed up the pace a little bit and trying to get a goal somehow out of this and possibly tie this match. Dayton's going to take this throw in number 21. It's going to be Michael Diley once again with the throw in as he's taken overwhelming majority of them. But into the box, going to be over the center, looking for Duru. Duru not able to get a hold of it. There's Duru with a little bit of a foot tap over it, trying to find anybody. That's a handball in the box, and I'll tell you right now, I'm surprised that one was missed. That was actually quite blatant. And once again, it looks as if Dayton is going to not able to get anything out of this. As Franz Nelm's over to get it, and I think that fan right below us kind of summed it up the way a lot of the Dayton fans are feeling right now.
Well, I'll tell you this, Mike. all you're going to get out of him is I didn't see anything intentional there. That's all he's going to say. You know, they've changed the handball rules so many times the last couple of years. I'm not even 100% sure what it is.
But I think that any handball in the box absolutely needs to be called. I mean, especially if it takes.
I can understand.
Absolutely,
I can understand a referee's desire to not penalize a player for having a ball unintentionally hit his hand.
I have a feeling that one was almost pretty dang close to a slap down. I was pretty close. I think it definitely hit him, but I think he gained an advantage from it. And had I been an official, I think that in a non-partial way, I definitely would have called that. But that is probably the difference between us. But now that we have a name, Brian Ipswich, once again, inconsistency of calls. I think there's been about 3 handballs that have been questionable. That one probably being the most, I wouldn't necessarily say obvious, but definitely the one that probably could have been called the most. That has been a no call, but he has definitely not called the handballs tonight, whether they were there or not. So 2 minutes and 20 seconds now as Dayton are really down to their last push here. They're trying to tie this game up, but Temple now leads 2-1 off of 2 goals from Cody Calaflora. He really has been the star in the game as he's been in a lot of different places throughout. And it looks as if it's going to go as a corner for Dayton.
And we'll see if they're bringing Picard up. They're certainly going to have everybody for you. Yeah, here we go. And certainly I think you'd want to leave Duran back. Now, I've always been of the opinion that in these situations, you're going to, even if you're going to be down a man, you're going to want to put one guy forward because one ball out of the box, he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper from this distance.
And you're right. I almost would be surprised to see if you're right, because the Flyers are playing a man down. This one's going to be fed right into the box. There's a lot of bodies around there, but no one's there, and that's going to go as a foul, as I'm not surprised. As there's a lot of pushing and shoving in the goal. I'll tell you right now, this is exactly what I have been afraid of the whole game, as these officials have not been able to call any of the physical play. And as there's any bit of pushing and shoving, this is exactly what it was going to amount to. Once again, this is, I believe, in my opinion, this is absolutely unacceptable, and I believe there's going to be cards handed out because of it, and I think that is absolute baloney. That is, and Victor Duru has just gotten a red card and kicked out of the game, and I think that is an absolute load of baloney. There is no way that he deserved that red card because he was getting pushed by about 4 or 5 other guys, all because of his physical play, the physical play that has been accepted throughout this. I know that we're trying to come into this game as an impartial broadcast, but that is absolutely unacceptable and unexcusable to have this. And I definitely need to tone down a little bit. Minute 25 left. The Flyers are going to play down of 2 men, and I'll tell you right now, that has a lot to do with the officials. And, Evan, I think I'm going to change my stance on this one. The officials really have cost this game for the Flyers, and I think that there needs to be a lot done, and I think the A-10 needs to definitely reevaluate who they're sending to certain games.
If there's a man you want to talk to, you got the 4th official right down there, and he wants no part of dealing with the coach there.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure what, unfortunately, we saw it after he already ended up in the goal. We were already looking.
He was being pushed and shoved around.
We were already looking upfield. I'd like to see the replay on that.
I don't think he did. He did absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, he was actually in there to defend himself. I watched the whole thing happen because as I knew that something was going to happen as soon as I saw Franz Nelms. And as soon as Nelms started throwing it, he threw a couple pushes. That's when everything got a little bit out of hand, and I think that right there is, unless there was something seen that happened in there, which I know obviously happens. You hear about stuff like that, especially in football. You hear about the football pile-ons where there's a lot of things that go on that you don't see, especially from the stands. And there could have been a word exchanged or a spit or anything like that could have happened, and we didn't see that. But I'll tell you right now that off of the strict action of that, I believe that was 100% instigated by Temple, and Dayton has paid the price because of it. And I do not. I'm not in agreement of this, and I believe that the whole Dayton coaching staff is neither. And barring some type of miraculous happening with 1:25 left, it looks as if Temple might be able to hold on to this one. And that's actually doing it lightly, as Franz Nelms just got a yellow card, and I'll tell you right now, he was definitely, I think he instigated more of the pushing and shoving than anybody else did, and he's the one who only gets away with the yellow card. And I think that kind of just attests to the sheet that was presented in front of us about roughly 5 minutes ago about this officiating. The calls have been definitely very inconsistent, and really control was lost there. And I think that's what happens when you allow a lot of pushing and shoving throughout the game and you have inconsistent calls. You lose control of the game. It's absolutely, I believe, in my opinion, that is incredibly unacceptable.
Well, put it this way, Victor Giroux learned lesson number 1. It's hard to start a bar fight with 6 other guys around you. Not the easiest thing to do.
And I'll tell you right now, I just want to know, if that is going to be their ruling on it. that he did it. But I'll tell you right now, there was about 7 people around, and this is going to go as it's going to go as short as it gathered up there by by Franz Nelms as we're now hit the 1 minute mark. And the Dayton now needs to make something happen now down 2-man as Pearson and Duru have been sent off. And I'll be surprised if you don't see another card or two here in the last remaining seconds, as I think Dayton has a little bit of a bone to pick with Temple. Now Dayton's going to try to pick up the pace here. They're under 40 seconds now. They're going to try to get something out of it, but you got to get the ball out of your hands if you're going to do that.
I think what I was laughing at, Mike, was the fact that throw-in probably started back around the second set of A-10 bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
And
now here's a nice ball over here. It looks as if that might just go a little bit wide and will go out of bounds, and looks as if that was probably going to be the last-ditch effort there by the Flyers as we're now at 15 seconds. And I think Temple's going to try to milk this. But Temple will win this. It looks as if Temple is going to actually no, as if they're going to stop the clock, and I'm not exactly sure why, as the official has just abruptly stopped the game with 8 seconds to talk to a couple out players. I think that's just so they can get the ball back in play, but it is now. The countdown continues at 7 seconds, and we'll let John take it away.
4, 3, 2, 1.
we'll see. This should be interesting.
Yeah, that's right. It looks as if, I mean, whatever he does, whatever card this is not going to make much of a difference because the game is over. And just a yellow card was just awarded to Tyler Whitmer, and I'll tell you right now, that's about like an hour too late, I believe, as this game definitely got out of control very quickly, but in the end, it was a very physical game. Temple ends up taking the game 2-1 here as a final score here from University of Dayton, but definitely dripping with controversy, I guess you would say, as there's a lot of sour feel. Like you can definitely see the Dayton players are very upset with this loss, as they probably felt that they got jibbed in the end. But in the end, it doesn't matter. It goes as a victory for Temple, as they have won back-to-back games for the first time this season, taking the first 2 Atlantic 10 games that they have. As we're going to go ahead and take a look over here, up here in the booth, and but yeah, Evan, the Temple finally winning their first 2 games, really winning their first 2 games back-to-back, and both of them being an Atlantic 10 play. You got to say that definitely does a lot for their confidence in the future.
Oh, I was impressed with the way they played it. They came out real physical, but it wasn't just that they came out physical and threw Dayton off. After they were done being physical, they moved the ball around very well. I mean, from all the teams I've seen Dayton play, this is probably the best ball movement I've seen out of any of them. And they really applied pressure when they had to, and I think Dayton just really they were not up to their game today. They were not playing physical. They weren't playing smart, and got a little bit unlucky, made some poor decisions, and they ended up they finished the game with 9 men.
That's right, and that's never good. Never when you have to finish a game with 9 men, there's normally always something. And really, what I think this game is going to be known for is this game's going to be known for a little bit of the controversy, especially with the calls and all that. This was a very physical game, Evan, as you mentioned. This was a very physical game. Temple came out really wanting to punish the Dayton offense, and I'll tell you now, they did a very good job of it. Got away with a lot of calls, didn't even get a lot of them really called, and really you could start to see some of the frustration from the youthful players of the Flyers, and that's really in the end what pretty much made the difference, is Dayton was just not able to capitalize and really respond to the pressure that was put on them by the Temple defense. So, but anyways, as it goes down here, Cody Calaflor with both goals for the Owls. He basically is going to be considered the hero of this game. The lone goal was scored by Victor Duru of the Flyers, as he was also given a red card and was kicked out of the game. But anyways, we will wrap this up here. We thank you, everybody, for joining us here for Evan Degger. I'm Michael Purvis. Go Flyers, and keep on going. Philadelphia to take on the Dayton Flyers. Hello, I am Michael Purvis, alongside me, my partner, Evan Degger, and a little bit of close quarters here to start off the game. But, Evan, this game has definitely a lot of implications, and this is going to has the potential of being a fun game, as both of these teams have gotten off to quite a decent start off to the Atlantic 10 play, both of them being high ranking, at least in the top of the upper half of the Atlantic 10 standings.
Well, you can see that Dayton undefeated in A10 play right now, undefeated in three of their last three games. So, I mean, that's as good a start as you can wish for, 2 ties. But, you know, early in the season that may put them down in the rankings a little bit. But end of season, those ties, they aren't losses. So that's going to count for points for them still.
That is correct, and absolutely correct. The Dayton Flyers are right now, as you mentioned, like I said, on a 3-game unbeaten streak right now. They won